Welcome to AI Paper Drop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. What if the secret to genius is not the ability to find the right answer, but the physical pain of being wrong?
Wait, pain? Like actual physical pain?
Exactly. Imagine a computer that actually sweats or burns through its power supply when it makes a mistake, creating a physical pressure that forces it to rewrite its own rules of reality just to survive.
That sounds like a horror movie for hardware. But I get where this is going. We keep talking about AI getting smarter, but we usually mean it's getting better at predicting the next word in a sentence, not actually inventing things.
Right. And that's the wall we're hitting. For years, the industry narrative has been, just add more data, more GPUs, more parameters, and eventually we'll get an AI that thinks like Einstein or Newton.
The scale hypothesis. Just keep piling on the bricks, and eventually a cathedral appears.
Exactly. But this paper argues there is a fundamental ceiling. There's this concept called abduction. Not induction, where you see a pattern and assume it continues, and not deduction, where you follow a logic chain. Abduction is the leap. It is the moment you realize the current rules are completely broken, and you have to invent a brand new axiom to fix it.
Like when you're trying to put together IKEA furniture, you realize the instructions are wrong, and you just have to imagine a new way the pieces fit together because the manual is lying to you.
Precisely. But when an AI fails at a complex task, it doesn't feel that friction. It doesn't hit a wall and think, wait, my entire worldview is wrong here. It just keeps guessing.
So it is essentially just a very confident guesser. But why does it not feel the need to innovate? If it's wrong, doesn't the loss function tell it it's wrong during training?
That's the catch. Training is one thing, but inference is another. Once the model is running, it's just a fixed set of weights. It's like a recording. It can't feel the cost of the error in real time.
Okay, so what is the actual mechanism the authors are proposing? How do humans do this leap that AI can't?
They point to something called thermodynamic coupling. It sounds fancy, but think of it this way. Human discovery is often an act of desperation. Take Max Planck, the father of quantum theory. Back in 1900, classical physics predicted something called the ultraviolet catastrophe.
That sounds like a very dramatic name for a physics problem.
It is. Basically, the math said that a simple hot object should emit infinite energy, which is obviously impossible. You can't have infinite energy coming out of a toaster.
Right, because your kitchen would explode.
Exactly. For a human scientist, that contradiction is intolerable. It is a physical impossibility that creates a kind of intellectual crisis. Planck had to make a leap to E equals h nu because the alternative was a reality that physically could not exist. He was coupled to the physical world.
So you're saying the AI is like a parasite on human reasoning? It's just mimicking the appearance of a leap because it read a textbook about Planck, but it never felt the desperation that forced Planck to invent the formula?
That is exactly the argument. The AI has descriptive uncertainty, where it can say I am 20% unsure. But it lacks regulatory uncertainty. It doesn't feel that if it is wrong, the whole system crashes.
I'm struggling with that. I mean, we have reward functions. We have RLHF. Can't we just penalize it for being wrong?
The authors argue that a mathematical penalty isn't the same as a physical cost. In a transformer, the math is just numbers shifting. There is no biological or physical skin in the game. It is the difference between reading a book about hunger and actually starving. One is a data point. The other is a force that compels you to find food.
Okay, that is a bold claim. Do they actually have a way to prove this, or is this just a philosophical argument?
They have some wild empirical data. They looked at something called the entropy versus accuracy gap. Basically, they pushed LLMs through tasks that got progressively harder. Not just more complex, but causally more difficult.
And I'm guessing the accuracy dropped?
It plummeted. In some cases, accuracy crashed from 100% down to 17%. The models were getting almost everything wrong.
Well, that makes sense. The task got harder.
Right, but here's the crazy part. The output entropy stayed almost completely flat. The internal measure of uncertainty didn't budge.
Wait, So you're telling me the AI was failing 83% of the time, but it was just as confident in its wrong answers as it was when it was getting them, right?
Exactly.
It was hallucinating a disaster with the same confidence it uses to tell you that 2 plus 2 is 4. It is completely decoupled from the truth.
Okay, that is actually wild. It is essentially blind to its own failure. If I'm a scientist and I realize my theory is wrong, I feel a sense of urgency. I feel a need to pivot. This AI is just coasting while the ship sinks.
Right.
And that's why it can't make the jump. To make an abductive leap, you first have to be forced to admit that your current map of the world is useless. But if you don't feel the cost of being wrong, you just keep using the wrong map and wondering why you're lost.
So if this is true, it means we can't just scale our way out of this. Adding more layers to a transformer is just giving the blind person a bigger cane. It doesn't give them sight.
Precisely.
The paper suggests we might need entirely new hardware. They mention neuromorphic chips or systems where errors are physically expensive to maintain. Imagine a processor where a contradiction actually creates heat or consumes more power. A system where being wrong is physically taxing.
So we have to build a machine that can suffer, in a sense. Not emotional suffering, but systemic stress.
Exactly.
A machine where the epistemic error becomes a physical cost. Only then does the system have a reason to innovate. Only then does it have to invent a new rule to stop the pain.
It really flips the script on AI. We spent all this time trying to make AI more efficient and seamless. But it turns out the friction is the point. The struggle is where the intelligence actually comes from.
It really does. It suggests that the path to true AGI isn't through more data, but through a deeper connection to the physical consequences of reality.
I love that. It means that for a machine to truly understand the world, it first needs to feel the cost of being wrong.
If you're enjoying this, follow or subscribe to AI Paper Drop wherever you listen. It really helps, and we have a new episode every day.
Paper by Pars Balani, Subricanda Panda. Produced by AI Paper Drop.